Jarvisbiker. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. I have just completed changing the final drive oil on the GL1800. That oil change was in preparation for a 17-hour ride to Arkansas from Jarvis, Ontario, coming up tomorrow. This will include, hopefully, a brief stop in Memphis, Tennessee. I have notified a YouTube friend, Memphis Mike Payne. Notified him that I'd be in the area. He came back instantly and said, "Hey man, if we can hook it up, let's hook it up." So I'm going to do everything in my power to time things, because we're both still working men. So I will be down there for a business meeting, and I'll be taking in another customer meeting on the way back through Indiana. So my plan is to do an iron butt to Memphis, and then have enough time Memphis area to hook up with Mike for a little introduction meeting, and yeah, that'd be exciting. Be like meeting a movie star. Hey bud. So hopefully everything works out. Weather-wise, it looks like if I travel Monday from here and I get down farther down into the warmer states, which aren't that warm, but they're warmer than it is up here. Once I get down into the warmer states, I'll get past the rain. And they're not calling for more rain in the Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee areas until Friday, which I'll be long gone out of there by then. My plan is to book back Wednesday afternoon, back past Memphis, and head my way to Indiana. And I'll probably stay over in Indiana and ride home on the Friday morning. So, we'll see how it goes. If it's either I ride home the final leg on Friday morning or whether I'm home Thursday night. I don't know how it's going to go. It depends on whether Mike and I can hook it up on the first trip down. If I can't get him on the first trip down, maybe I can hit it up on the way back, and at least a brief meeting anyway. We talk a fair little bit on Facebook and commenting on each other's videos. So, be interesting. I'm sure he's got a lot of information for me. So, this is a test ride. So we have changed cameras again. So the Hero 7 is on the handlebar, and the Hero 5 Session, which I got secondhand but is in new condition, very, very lightly used.
Hello. Media connected. Device connected.
So this is the first time I've had the whole riding apparel on this year. Never needed it up until now. Making sure everything's satisfactory for a trouble-free ride. I don't think I'll run the 3-camera system on the way down. Just too much to be fiddling with, making sure everything's running. So, and then it burns up too many chips. So I'll probably go with just the helmet cam for most of the trip. There may be some others that I'll use both. So I'll keep the remote for the dual parts, and I'll use voice for the other. Bikes are everywhere. And good, nice clear road ahead. Princess had to work today, first time in a couple of weeks. They asked her to come in. Seasonal job. Expecting a big turnout on a beautiful day, so she's missing out on this. Hopefully she doesn't have to work too late. Maybe we can get her out for a little run before I take off for the rest of the week. Okay, so helmet cam shut off again for the second time. So I don't know how much of the conversation was lost, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to rehash what I already talked about. Was the Sena Cardo Packtalk Bold conversation. The Packtalk Bold is becoming very popular, as it should, but the reason that it's a discussion is because some people don't read up on things before they buy them, and I spent a considerable amount of time reading up on 30K, 20S, 10R, Cardo. So I started out with the Q3 system. So we had two of those headsets, Cardo. We then changed to Smart H Cardo, which had the DMC, everything just like the Packtalk Bold. It's virtually the same unit, it's just not detachable from your helmet. And it's actually designed to fit the HJC helmet. And very streamlined, doesn't catch on your shoulder when you're trying to turn like these Senas do. And it had up to 15 hours of battery life, which was what the Q3 situation had shown us, that we were fine on the Concord because our rides were never that long. Wife couldn't keep going for that amount of time on the Concord. Not anything to do with the bike other than the riding position, and you know, we're not young kids anymore, so that is why I went and purchased this Goldwing. But in doing that with the Q3s, we ended up running out of battery on the trip out, not on the trip back, but as far out as we could go, we were only getting about 5 hours. So with the Smart H, you know, they were saying 13 and up. And at the time we had the Bluetooth unit, the J&M unit in the bike, and it worked okay. But then the FreeWire system came out, and I wanted to go to that, but FreeWire only works with, you guessed it, Sena products. So I read up. They said that once the new firmware came out, that all the 10R and the 10, whatever the other one was, 10U and the 10C and the 10, whatever the other one was, there's the other one, the 10S, I guess it is. All those with the new firmware update would be able to work with the FreeWire and still run your phone and two-way communication with your CB and everything else. So, okay, great. So I thought, I read up, and I really liked the 10R because, you know, it was a stick-on unit, very close to the helmet, very out of the way, no interference with, you know, your clothing and all that, and it didn't work. It wouldn't do what we wanted it to do. And I'm not going to get into that big long explanation again of everything we tried, but tech support was involved, and they just ended up not talking to me anymore. And then I had to go to Fort9, which I purchased them from, and I said, hey, I've had these a while, but I bought them in January and they've been in the box brand new waiting for spring. I put them on, I set them up, and I try them, and they don't work as advertised. I've gone through, here's the tech support stuff here, read all this, it's not like we're just not trying. And so they gave me a credit. So then I thought, okay. So I read up again, and I was thinking, do I get the 10S? Because all the guys, the Memphis guys, the Caliente group, the Memphis Mike, they were all saying that Sena, and Mike had the 10C, the one, the built-in camera at the time, and so I thought, okay, I could do that, but I wasn't thinking about videos at the time. I was just fiddling around, and I decided that I'd go with the 30K. And my reasoning was because I was thinking to myself, this is the new way. And like a couple of years down the road, the 20S and the 10S and all those 10s, nobody's going to have them. They're going to be mesh communication, and we're not going to have it. And if we get on any groups, which we're starting to do now, and I didn't want to be buying another set, and I was like, okay. So I bought the 30Ks. And you want to know something? I think the 10R worked better. But so then I got listening to the Memphis people, and they're talking, and everything was great, and it was like utopia for Bluetooth. And so I finally said to myself, let's just get a couple of 20S's. Let's see what all the hype's about. I know they had I believe that the 20S has a dual processor in it, so therefore it can handle the multi-function connections better than the 30K, which didn't have. Why, I don't know. You'd think that they would at least be par as opposed to being, one step up, maybe 3 processors, who knows. But they didn't. They went back to 1 for some reason. Probably just cost, but so now the Memphis guys they're complaining about the Sena pop, the popcorn noise when you get a bigger group. It's okay, 1 or 2 guys. It's okay, 1 or 2 guys, but you get up into 6, 7, 8, like most of them do down there. They got multi people riding, and they're very disappointed, especially when they went to go to Wingding 41. They seemed that was the straw that broke Chris's back, per se. It from his videos, he's saying that he's pretty well fed up with it, but he's not getting rid of them because he needs it to. So the temporary lights here are screwed up, so it's just flashing red, so every man for himself. So back to the Sena Cardo conversation. So Mr. Caliente goes out and he's at a trade show somewhere, and the Cardo boys are there, and he gets chit-chatting with them, and so now he's got, I believe, 3 of them. And he ended up putting a Sena and a Cardo in the same helmet, which I've always wanted to do. I just didn't want to hurt any of the pieces. I don't have enough room in my HJC helmet for the double speaker, and the plugs aren't the same on the Cardo and the Sena, so I can't just put a Y adapter in there to connect all the speakers to one set of speakers, but I probably could figure something out, but just haven't had the initiative to do that. No one in our riding group uses their Bluetooth on the ride. Well, they do, but the one couple, they have one it's not Cardo or Sena. The other couple has a Sena unit, but they didn't bring them on the last few rides. And I was like, well, why didn't you? We could have hooked up, and would have been a lot better. So they went out on a ride with his buddy Wavy, and Wavy had gone to the Packtalk Bold, so they were talking, and it's clear as a bell, and then his viewers all start writing in and complaining that the sound quality on the video wasn't as good as on when they were just using the Sena units to the GoPro. So, like, give the guy a break. It's the first ride out, and the sound quality isn't quite what you expected or that you're accustomed to. So get on there right away and nag and tell them that the damn thing's no good because it doesn't sound good enough. Well, cut them some slack. Give them 20 minutes to figure something out. Turned out probably that it has to do with all the volume settings inside the app. And if anybody watches Cruise Man's Garage, you will see that there was a video came out I think it came out this morning or last night, where he's talking about Packtalk Bold problems with the 1800 2018 Goldwing, and that he couldn't get the music coming through the system, and all kinds of stuff wasn't working and would work and didn't work, and then so he actually had a Cardo office right nearby, so he made an appointment and drove down to visit them, and the guy set it up for him right there. And part of it was his problem was just wiping it clean and starting over, which is the standard Bluetooth thing. Crash it and start again. So got that all straightened around, and it was working. On the video this morning that I watched, it was working again. So, but one of the things the guy did do was set the volume levels on all the different options that are available, phone, GPS, all that kind of stuff, entertainment system, all that. He cranked them right up so that he could get the volume out of it. So it could be that is the only problem that he was having with that audio on that video, but like, don't jump on the guy. he's trying this stuff out and experimenting to teach others how to do stuff, and that's enviable. You know, he doesn't have to do that. He could go out and just cruise away and yak to his friends and, you know, not really worry about it. But he likes tinkering with the stuff, and I do too. I don't know whether I got as much flow as Chris does to play with all the toys. I certainly don't have the following to justify somebody sending me some to play with, but I've already, you know, been through the Cardo system, and I never would have changed to Sena because I already knew about the popping and the noise and all that I didn't really want to change. I wanted to stay with the Cardo because I knew it, and I was pleased with the quality of the operation. And as I say before, if it had been Cardo that had come up with the free wire type system for the Goldwing, we wouldn't be having any of this conversation, and I bet you any money that Cardo could have sunk Sena at the time. I think they were on the teetering point. The ones that got Sena going were the ones that the young motovloggers, the guys on the 750 Suzukis and 600 Ninjas, and, you know, that were out doing their thing, and they were doing these group rides where it was easy to hook up the Senas, and that's what gave Sena the boost at the time. But when it really came down to it, when you get to the Goldwing people, we're a little older, we're a little more discerning. We kind of want the toys, we want them now, but we also want quality, we want ease of use, and compatibility, I think, is the next thing that we want. And that's the thing that this segregation of technologies is hampering things moving forward for everybody. And I think if it came down to that a Cardo would hook to a free wire and work perfectly well and still have the clearness and the conciseness and quality of sound that they have now, plus being integral to all Goldwings, not just the 2018-19 versions. I think now everybody has a big enough foothold that, I mean, if you're a Sena guy, you're gonna stay a Sena guy. If you're a Cardo guy, you stay a Cardo guy. You're just, it's not, I mean, unless something really drastic, you know, and the guys, okay, take the Memphis people. If a Cardo Packtalk Bold hooked to a free wire, which would connect to the GL1800 2017 and down, you would probably see them jump, and you're probably going to see it anyway. They're just not going to worry about their infotainment systems working when they're on a ride, because basically when they're on a ride, that's all they're doing. There's no music playing. Same as me right now, I've got my music muted and down. I can hear it a tiny bit, but not much. Who's this guy? So I think you're going to see all the Memphis people, the Caliente group. I think you'll probably see them all go to Packtalk Bulls. I know some of them are going to be griping about the extra cost now that they've all gotten to the same thing, and now they're going to all have to jump again to get the DMC mesh communication that they're not. Some of them probably won't be happy to. I know there was a little bit of whining from some of them about the 20S, and it was kind of funny, and there were the stragglers that waited and waited and waited, and I think Chris bought a couple of units and sold off a couple and for cheap, or I think one of his buddies, real close buddies, I think he bought him one as a gift, and which is a nice gesture. If any of my friends want to do anything like that, just buy me bike stuff. So that's where the Cardo thing stands now, and I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see a wave go to Cardo, and I know they'll optimize on that, and hopefully they get a grip and build us an adapter to connect the GL1800. I know if the Memphis group and a few other big names out there got pushing the issue, somebody might wake up and listen. Technology it's changing so rapidly that you're gonna see changes in this, like what we have now. Like I've got top of the line in both systems on helmets sitting in my house. So like I have a 30K in the trunk, fully charged, ready to rock. If something happens to the 20S, it's programmed. All I have to do is pair it to the FreeWire and fire it up, and it's ready to go. And it works fine alone. It's when you add the other things to it. That's why I went away from the Bluetooth unit, the Sena Bluetooth unit for the GoPro. It just took up one more space on the system that just didn't allow something else to work, or it'd lock up and freeze, or you'd have a video with no sound at all, and then the next day you'd do the same damn thing and you'd have vivid sound on it and wonder what did I do? Well, you didn't do anything. It's the technology. It's got issues. So I think as we move forward, there's going to be bigger jumps in technology and quality of performance, I guess, that's gonna, at least I'm hoping. But I do know it doesn't cost $400 to make one of those headsets and to make a decent profit on it. They're making money on these things multiple times over, and it's kind of a rip-off, and I'm kind of sad that that's what they're doing. I mean, there's others out there that have just as good a system, but it's their own system that are they're way cheaper, like hundreds of dollars cheaper, and it's doing the same thing as the ones that they sell for the higher amount. Honey wagon. So I guess that's what was shutting off the camera, was the voice control. So I've killed that now, and it seems that the camera's continuing on for me. Try to get everything in tip-top form for tomorrow's ride. Yeah, so I think everything will be good for the ride there. I know there's a couple of cycle gears that are in close proximity to my route. If for some happenstance I need heated gear, I'll definitely hook that up. But I don't think now that I'm gonna. I've ridden with the Concours with this amount of stuff on in really cold weather, and I had no issues, but it wasn't a 17-hour ride, so we will take it guardedly that on the way down that my first few hours are going to be in the cold. Say the first 6 hours will be in the cold, and then it should start to warm up as I get down towards the Memphis area. It won't be as cold as what we have up here. Then for my ride to Arkansas, I believe it's 3 hours and something from Memphis where I have to go, so I'll probably just head out in the morning dressed for warmth, and I'll wait for the sun to get up and things to warm up, and I'll strip to my visiting clothes. Once out of there, I'll suit it back up and head my way back. Be passing right by Memphis for the second time, so if we don't hook up with Mike on the first trip, we'll get him on the second, I hope. Promised him a taste of some Canadian whiskey, so be a stop at the duty free on the way out of the country to hook ourselves up with some. You're a brave man, sir. You're a brave man. That's got "I'm sinking in the mud" written all over it. don't want to be spinning the wheels, that's for sure. So I'll cut this off for now and we'll start another one. Need a little content for the YouTube people. Squirrel. Big fancy house. didn't even give me the look. Harley guy. Oh, burn me. God. You know, and every time there's been one stall down on the side of the road, I've always stopped. I always stopped. Out of gas, shared my gas. Oh. Man. Nothing like burning you up. Bikers are out. They're making it pay this weekend. Respect. That's all it is. Just a little respect, that's all. We don't have to be buddies.